Kia ora, folks. Mr. Cowens here. I just wanted to give you a bit of a heads up about what the new piece of work is you're going to be working on, because you're going to be doing this piece of work for 3 weeks. So it's worth getting to grips with what it is. We've just watched the film Scooby-Doo, and prior to that we talked about the fact that the New Zealand classification system for films, for music, for photographs and various other things has some criteria which are applied to see what rating those things should get. Those criteria include things like sex, crime, cruelty, horror, violence, dangerous, imitable behavior, coarse language, self-harm and suicide, dehumanizing or degrading representation of particular groups of people, and a few other things as well. There's some of the other quite specific things that are included there, but those are the sex, crime, cruelty, horror, violence, coarse language, dangerous, imitable behavior. They're going to be our main 7 things, plus a few extra bits and pieces. The new piece of work, which is posted to Google Classroom, asks you to please choose a film that has a New Zealand rating, that the rating is suitable for your age. So I don't think anyone should be picking an R16 or an R18 film, because no one in the class apart from me is above that age. R13 is fine. If you're 13 and up, that's totally okay. M-rated is okay. Please do not choose a G-rated film, because the assignment asks you to watch the film closely and look out for the things that are in the film that could get it a rating above a G. So we're looking for sex, crime, cruelty, horror, violence, coarse language, depictions of self-harm, suicide, degrading or dehumanizing behavior, dangerous, imitable behavior, all those sorts of things. So if you pick a film that is in that kind of PG, R13 kind of neighborhood, you're looking to see what were the bits of the film that got it the rating it got, and then you're going to have a look at what other countries gave the same film in terms of its rating to compare it to the New Zealand rating, and you'll also have to make a judgment call. Do you agree with the rating for this film? For example, the film Night of the Living Dead came out quite a long time ago, in the 1970s, I believe. It was rated R16 at the time because it was a shocking horror movie about zombies who ate people. It's not very scary. It's not very graphic. I think if it came out these days, it would get an M rating, but it still has, I believe, the R16 rating from when it was first released. So as someone who's over the age of 16, I could watch that film, and then my analysis would be, actually, with modern standards, this film probably shouldn't be R16. It should probably be M. And there's a few films like that where they got a more restrictive rating because they came out a long time ago, and they would now probably not get quite the same rating because standards have shifted and changed. The final presentation for this is going to be in the format of a report, which could be a slideshow. It could be a written report. You could make a little video where you describe what happens in the film and put little clips of the film. So either you're on screen talking, or else you are just doing a voiceover. You could use text to voice to create a robot voiceover, stick that over some still images from the film, and then that would work really well too. To check the rating for the film, to make sure you're watching something that is not age inappropriate, you can go to the Film and Video Labelling Body website, which is fvlb.org.nz, and you can search for any film, and you should be able to find most films. There may be a few exceptions. So if you pick a film that's just come out recently on Netflix, it may not have a New Zealand rating yet. It'll just have the recommended rating that Netflix gave it. If it's an action film like The Grey Man is probably an M, and if the Netflix suggested rating is 13, that should be fine. I think Netflix suggested ratings are usually okay. Not always, but they're probably okay. If you're not sure, send me an email and I can have a look and see if I can figure out if it looks suitable. The other thing to be aware of is that you can watch films for free on ETV. ETV is a service paid for by the college that has recorded shows that were recorded either off TV or off Sky's website sometimes as well. So some of the films don't have any ads, which is great. The Rialto channel ones, for example, don't have any ads, which is neat. They sometimes have adults only for the rating, which is a TV rating rather than a classification office rating. And some of those are age restricted, which means that you won't be able to just click on them and watch them. But I know that the film is actually only rated M. For example, Iron Man, I think, is adults only when it screens on New Zealand television. But it's only an M-rated film, and it would be totally fine for you to watch. And if you find a film on ETV that looks really good, you've checked the New Zealand rating, and it is a suitable rating for your age, but it's saying you can't open it because it's adults only or it's age restricted. If you send me a message with the name of the film, I can go in on my teacher login and generate the code that says this is okay for the student and flick that back to you in an email, and then you can watch it via that email. So if you wanted to watch a Marvel film, any M-rated film, if you find that it has been classified as adults only on ETV because it's picked up the TV rating, just send me an email and I will try to have notifications on my phone. And it's not a long process. It's reasonably quick for me to get you the link back so that you can watch the film without being restricted by ETV's careful settings. That system works pretty well. It does let you download the film as well. So if you wanted to flick me the link, I can send it back to you. You can download the film when you're at home and then onto your device and not have to worry about the school Wi-Fi for the time you're watching the film. That's okay. The time frame for this assignment is 3 weeks, so 9 lessons, with the idea that you might spend 2 or 3 lessons watching the film, 2 or 3 lessons taking your notes and doing the comparison, looking up what rating it got in other countries, and then 2 or 3 lessons putting it all together into a report. If you are able to choose a film reasonably promptly, you shouldn't have any trouble finishing in those 9 lessons, I would hope. I am probably out this week, but should be back next week, so that should be all good. The resources are all on Google Classroom for you, but I wanted to make a little explainer video so you can hopefully be on the right page. The written material says all this again, so you can go and check everything to make sure if you missed anything. But I wanted to just go over it conversationally in video format for you in case that was helpful. So have a great week. Enjoy choosing and watching a film. Just make sure it's age appropriate for you, whatever age you happen to be. Check that on the fvlb.org.nz website. If you are not sure what the New Zealand rating is, look that up. I can anticipate that someone's going to ask, can I do an episode of a TV show? And the answer is yes, if it's got a suitable age rating. So I just watched Sandman. That says R18 on Netflix. It's probably not R18 if you actually put it through the New Zealand classification system. Most episodes wouldn't be, but some of the episodes might be. Towards the end, there's some quite graphic violence and stuff. Stranger Things is probably fine. I think that's got a M, likely to have an M rating if you put it through the New Zealand system. So if you're not sure, some of those shows do have a New Zealand rating because they've come out on DVD, typically, is the reason why. So Game of Thrones is R16 for pretty much every season. Feel free to have a look. Yes, it is okay to do an episode of a TV series if you check first what rating it probably would be. So Euphoria is a good example of a show that might well be R16, could be R18. I haven't looked it up, but I would want to check first because a lot of the content of that show is the sort of thing you would expect to get an R16 or an R18 rating. So a very good show, but probably not classroom appropriate for this particular assignment. Do just check, and if you're not sure, send me a message and we will check together. Okay, good luck. Enjoy the week. You can borrow headphones from the office if you need to, or bring your own headphones, should work well. And I will see you when I'm back. Ka kite anō.